What's up, Philly?
And on behalf of Mr. Snyder, the entire organization, we're extremely proud and excited to name Dave Haxtell head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers.
Moves on in, and he scores! Sick move from Claude Giroux. Wow! Pull it on a cross. It's been inside of the net. Score! Simmons! Power play goal. 3-2 Flyers. There's Voracek cutting in the shot. He scores! A beauty from Jason Nate. And this game is tied at 3.
Now, Andy Robb, Ken Prell, the Philly Hockey Guy.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! It is finally here.
Oh my God. Can you believe it?
No, it seems like forever we've been waiting.
And what are we talking about? Well, today is the day the NHL season has finally started. It feels like it's been one hell of a long offseason. Flyers' first game, October 8th, which is Thursday. So we got just one more day to wait for all the Flyers fans, but still, NHL hockey is back.
So glad it is back.
Welcome to episode 9 of the Philly Hockey Guys podcast, the first one of the actual season. We've been doing this since June. It's great to finally be wrapped up in the actual real season. I'm Andy Robb.
Ken Perel, and we're talking about an actual game now. We actually have rosters set. This is great. This is like Christmas morning.
There are lots of things that we're going to be talking about in the podcast coming up, but first and foremost, we're going to talk about something we touched on in episode 8 of the podcast, and now it is official. Our first ever Philly Hockey Guys contest is live, and you can win a pretty sweet number of prizes from the show.
Yes, we've dug up some really good things.
Look at this
especially
thing.
From the past.
Yes, you can win a 1996 still mint in the box Eric Lindros starting lineup figurine, which is a collector's item.
I was very against giving this away.
I know, but you know
I wanted to keep it.
If we're going to do our first contest, we got to do it the right way.
We got to go big, yep.
You can win that awesome Eric Lindros classic starting lineup figurine, as well as some other prizes from the Philly Hockey Guys podcast, maybe a sticker or two as well. Let's talk about the contest real quick.
Yeah, how do we enter?
Well, it's simple. All you got to do is we want to know more about you and your love for the Philadelphia Flyers. So take a photo of your Flyers collection. It could be your jersey collection. It could be your man cave, your woman cave, your fan cave, whatever. Autographs, Flyers collectibles collection, photos with the Flyers, anything like that. Along those lines, if it's your collection and you're proud of it, take a photo of it and share it with us, either on Reddit Flyers, on Twitter at Philly Hockey Guy, also on Facebook, and you can also email your photos to phillyhockeyguys@gmail.com. The contest starts up on Thursday, October 8th. To coincide with the Flyers' first game of the season, and it'll run for about 1 week.
Sweet. I can't wait to enter.
No, you can't enter.
What?
Well, you can send a picture anyway, but you're not going to be able to win. You're ineligible. You're part of the
I
show.
want the prizes.
No. That's
Damn
not
it.
how it works. That's not how it works. But, of course, you're encouraged to send in your photos. And, if we pick yours to be the best photo of the best Flyers collection, you're going to win that sweet prize pack from the Philly Hockey Guys podcast that does feature a Philly Hockey Guys sticker, some other random stuff, and, of course, the big prize of them all, the 1996 Lindros starting lineup figurine. I love it.
That's if I don't steal it first.
No, you're not stealing it. I'm putting it under lock and key. So you've got about a week to do that, so go ahead and do it now, and you just might win. And, of course, as a side note, real quick, apologies I got to give those in advance. Because this is our first contest, shipping might be a bit of an issue. So if you're listening to this outside of the continental United States, we won't be able to send a prize to you, but you're still welcome to send in your pictures. So a winner will be chosen from somebody that lives within the good old U.S. of A. for this time around.
We basically can't afford international shipping rates at this time.
Can't really afford much of anything. But here we are. So, it's great. Some great prizes, and we really hope people get excited about this, and we really hope people will get involved with it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
All right, contest stuff out of the way. Enter today, unless if you don't want to win an Eric Lindros figure. If you don't want an Eric Lindros figure, hey, screw you.
Let's get into some hockey talk now.
How about the big news that came out?
Yes, one that it shocked me. I don't know about you.
No, it surprised me too, but because in the last episode we were talking about potential scenarios, And this one didn't cross our mind. Well, it kind of did, but it was just so far-fetched, so crazy. Would Hextall actually be willing to do this? But lo and behold,
the guy's got balls.
he did it. I know. He's like Randy in South Park. He carries him around in a wheelbarrow when he walks around. Okay, so what happened?
Well, the Flyers ended up waiving Andrew McDonald. I'm kind of shocked because of the salary.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still owed. He's only in the second year of the 6-year deal, $5 million a year. The Flyers only save about $950,000 in cap space, so that's why I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, I know, because it's just such an astronomical amount of money, and especially, like you said, only after like one season of trying to take this guy in, they're like, no, dude, no thanks.
So the Flyers go into the season now carrying around $4.1 million in dead cap space.
I'd like to congratulate Andrew McDonald right now on behalf of the show for being the most highly paid AHL player in history. I was really hoping Pittsburgh was going to pick him up so he could play with his buddy Crosby.
Oh, please. You know they don't have the cap space, but they probably would have if they did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Hextall said it was a very difficult decision.
We had to make a tough decision, putting our best team on the ice and creating a roster spot and some cap space. So it was a tough decision. Obviously, we know Mac's a good NHL player, and is it what we wanted to do? No. This is if we could have avoided it, we would have.
He's a good NHL player. If you're ever going to be a general manager of a sports team, you need to know how to lie to the media.
Well, he's a decent third pairing guy, but he's nowhere near worth the amount of money or the amount of time on that contract by any means whatsoever.
Well, I think what we're going to see is, he was the obvious one to send down because he knew no one would claim him. I think Hextall wants to keep Luke Schenn for right now. He'll be the trade chip later on in this season.
Speaking of Luke Schenn, it's been announced that for the season opener against the Lightning, Luke Schenn will be playing in favor of Radko Gudas playing against his old team, and he will be a healthy scratch for the game against the Lightning.
Another move that surprised me.
Me, not so much. Yes, Gudas is, a pretty competent defenseman. Then again, Luke Schenn is too at times. But I think it really comes down to experience, maybe familiarity with playing with the team. He put in a lot of minutes last year for the Flyers.
Yeah, well, Hextall said he's been rock solid since the start of camp. So, I understand that, and I kind of agree with you on that. It still was shocking because it looked like all along he was going to be a healthy scratch.
Yeah, and it also, a lot of people thought he was going to be waived. So, throwing another curveball our way is the Philadelphia Flyers organization.
I think the Flyers knew if they waived Luke Schenn, somebody would have picked him up, so you wouldn't have got anything in return. Yeah, you would have saved $3.6 million in cap space, but you can get some assets, and that's what Hextall's all about.
Yeah, they're in the meeting room. Hextall's like, we need to waive a defenseman, but we have to make sure nobody's going to want him. Luke Schenn? No. Somebody's probably going to take him. Who? Wait a minute, I've got an idea. Andrew McDonald.
No one's going to take him.
Put him on waivers. You're done.
But are you surprised about the pairings now on the defense? Because they're going to pair Luke Schenn up with Medvedev.
No, not at all. A second pairing, two big bodies like that, and then you could drop Del Zotto back to play with the young guy Manning, so you got the two young guys playing in your third pairing. I like it. Nothing's set in stone. It could always change by game, too.
It could change from period to period.
Sure.
Or shift to shift. I just thought Medvedev and Del Zotto really played well together in the preseason. That's why it kind of surprised me a little bit.
And they probably have that, they probably put that up on the back burner, said, okay, now these two guys can play well together, but let's see what can happen next. I think it'll be an interesting dynamic with these pairings. Really the only way is to just watch the game. Speaking of which, I can't stop thinking that we're going to be actually watching regular season Flyers hockey in just like a few hours from now.
Well, the thing is that we know this season, especially the beginning part of this season, is going to be a work in progress. We got the team has a new system to learn. We got a bunch of new players and new pieces to put in there. So, it's going to be very exciting the first month of the season, more so than it's been the last couple years.
Okay, since we're on the subject of who or who may not be a healthy scratch for the season opener against the Tampa Bay Lightning, let's run through that right now. Who are some of the healthy scratches that we're going to see in the season opener of the Philadelphia Flyers season? What kind of bold moves are they making?
Well, we already talked about Gudas is going to be a healthy scratch for the first game, and it looks like LeCavier and Gagne That one kind of surprised me as well.
Yeah.
Because he played well in the preseason, I thought.
He did. But
and he thought so, too.
Yes. The actual quote from him was this. He says, quote, "I'm surprised. I thought I did enough in camp to warrant a spot, but those decisions are not up to me," end quote.
I mean, I think he's a guy who's going to get worked in eventually here. I don't think he's going to be a healthy scratch a lot of the time, unlike the other healthy scratch for this opening game, Vinny Lecavalier.
Got a bit of a log jam when it comes to forwards, obviously, just like with defensemen. But yeah, Vinny going to be scratched for the first game of the season. I secretly think that Craig Berube is just wearing a mask and is parading as a man named Dave Hakstol.
Well, Vinny's not happy about it.
No, he says this about it. He says, quote, "I really don't know what to say. I'll practice hard and be ready when they call me up. Honestly, it really doesn't matter what I think. That's where it's at right now, so it is what it is," end quote. I'd buy him a popcorn. No, you know what? I'd make him buy me one.
I mean, he's still making $4.5 million a year, so it's kind of hard to feel sorry for him. But, I mean, who are you going to play, him or Scott Lawton?
I've heard before that some people don't think Scott Lawton is good enough to be on the Flyers.
Well, those people are just morons.
Speaking of which, big congratulations to Scott Lawton for making the team. The guy has worked damn hard to earn it, and he's gone back to his old number. He's gone from the weird number 49 to his classic 21. So good for him.
Which is good to see. Yeah, I mean, if there was one guy who stood out this preseason from the forward standpoint, it was definitely Scott Lawton, and I'm so happy that he made the team.
Absolutely. I think it's great to see him making the club. Definitely excited to see what he's going to do later on when the Flyers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. As far as Lecavalier goes, I mean, the guy's going to get his chance, but when he does get that chance, he's got to come out with a fire under his ass. I mean, that's really it. That's the nuts and bolts of it. There's really no other argument one can make. If he's saying that, you know, he's going to wait for his chance to get called up, well, when that chance comes up, time for you to step up.
I just don't think there's anything left in the tank anymore. I mean, the guy came into camp in the best shape of his life, he said. He just doesn't have it. He doesn't have the wheels, especially he doesn't have the wheels of a 21-year-old Scott Lawton.
No, we'll see what'll happen. I mean, really, that's really the only way to tell. I mean, okay, so let's move on, okay? Because we got to get excited, not like, oh, what is
yeah, crying for a guy who's making $4.5 million a year.
Yeah, oh, woe is you. We're sitting in a radio studio, and I had a bologna sandwich for lunch at a Fresca. Anyway, seriously, yeah, it's only the first game of the season. I'm sure things will turn around for Lecavalier. Either way, he's got his money. So anyway, moving on to the people that are actually playing.
Jake Voracek had weighed in on getting ready to play the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Any opportunity we have to listen to this man speak, we take it.
It's cliche. You got to work as hard as you can and, stick together. I mean, it might happen that we lose the first game. It might happen we lose the second game in overtime or something like that. We just got to make sure that, we play good hockey, and last year, what we were, like 2-8 or something in the first 10 games, something like that. I mean, it's hard to come back from it. So just gonna make sure that first 10 games we are right there, because that's what's gonna make a difference in the end of the season.
Are you a little concerned he's talking about already losing the first game and possibly the second game?
I was gonna say, I like his honesty.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
No, you know what? It's a good answer, and I'll tell you why. Because the guy is cut from a leadership cloth. I mean, he doesn't pull any punches. He's straight out with you. He's saying, yeah, we may not win the first game. We may not win the second game. We were 2-8 when the season started.
Yeah, but they can't go 2-8 this year. You can't fall behind like last year. And I think he alluded to that. So I think the first 10 games are important, but I think what he's really trying to say is don't panic if we lose the first 2 games. Now, if we lose the first 10 games, all right, then it's time to panic.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. So.
And Dave Hakstol, he had some thoughts on starting off against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I think it's wherever you go in on the road, it's going to be a big challenge, and I think it's a challenge for us. But I think it's a good challenge for our team, and it's one that we'll take on.
I'm kind of concerned there wasn't a single in that clip.
I think this is a great test for the Flyers, though, because a lot of people are picking Tampa to win the Cup. This is going to be a nice little measuring stick to start off the season, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's going to be exciting either way. I mean, Flyers hockey is back. You get to see really the real lineup that is set, not the preseason stuff, no split squad stuff. I'm just all in just to see exactly what this team brings to the table for game 1 of the season.
The only thing I'm really hoping for is I don't get shellacked like 10-0.
Now, why you got to say that?
Well, I go and say something like that because I was looking around at the power rankings from some of the major sports outlets. ESPN has them ranked 24th.
I'm going to stop you right there. ESPN doesn't do anything about hockey, so invalid. Out the window.
All right, how about TSN? A little bit more validity there?
Okay, yes, to our friends up in Canada, yes, TSN is pretty great.
They rank the Flyers one position ahead of that, at 23.
What did they have to say about that?
They said the Flyers have some good talent. Obviously, Giroux, Voracek, Simmons, Sean Couturier, Braden Shen on the roster. Most of their talent is up front, and they still have a complicated situation at the bottom half of their forward depth chart. You know, with Sam Gagner, Vincent Lecavalier looking like high-priced extras to start the year. The defense has undergone an overhaul, which included waiving Andrew McDonald. But if Medvedev and Gudas and Manning can change the look at the blue line, maybe the Flyers surprise. So there's a lot of ifs there.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree, I'm sure. Just like in everything else, all eyes are going to be on the defense. I think Mason is going to be spectacular again this season. And, yeah, I mean, it really comes down to what that blue line is capable of doing.
Yeah, you don't want to see Mason get peppered with 40 shots a game. And we saw that a couple times in the preseason. We saw it late last year. So that's one thing they got to clean up. There's only so much a goalie can do when you're facing 40 shots a night.
That, and they need to stay alive for 60 minutes. They can't just, drop off.
Yeah, don't take the third period off.
Game. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, USA Today, they also agreed with TSN. They have the Flyers ranked 23rd. But Fox Sports was the most optimistic at 21. They say the lack of offseason moves suggests that the Flyers don't yet see themselves as a contender. The defense needs work, but there is plenty of young talent waiting in the prospect pool, which is true, which we've talked about several times.
Yep.
Forwards, Giroux and Voracek need to keep scoring points. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
No, I don't think so either. I think they're going to be just fine in terms of that. Voracek and Giroux, they're definitely going to be top contenders in the league for some kind of scoring title, I'm sure. At least Voracek, too. If he tries to replicate those numbers that he had last season, oh, man, I'll be satisfied. That's great.
And adding Raffle to the top line this year, I think, is going to help as well.
Don't forget, follow us on Twitter at Philly Hockey Guys. Subscribe on iTunes and on SoundCloud, and I almost just ripped your headphones out.
I was almost decapitated.
I'm sorry about that. Do you need to go on injured reserve?
I think so, yeah.
I'm looking for a co-host now.
I'm a healthy scratch.
Enjoy that popcorn.
Hey, let's play a little game of true or false here.
False. I will not give you the Eric Lindros figure. Next
Damn it,
question.
that was question number 1, too. All right, Raffle. We were just talking about him joining the top line. 25 goals this season. True or false?
He is certainly capable of it, but that doesn't mean yes. But because I'm positive about it, because it is the start of the season, a brand new slate, it's a new day, I'm going to say yes.
I'm going true as well. He had 21 goals last year, so what's another 4?
Exactly. As long as he stays healthy. That's right. We do no math here.
All right, the next one's a little bit tougher.
Next question.
Voracek hits the 100-point mark this year.
Ooh. As much as I love Jake, I'm going to say no to 100 points, but he will be at the doorstep. Somewhere in that range. He had 81 points for last season. I think he's going to be somewhere in that range. Maybe he'll hit 90. I'd love to see 90.
100 points is very tough to get in today's NHL.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to go false on that one, but I like your prediction of 90 points. I'll go true on that one.
Let me try one. How about that?
Okay.
True or false? Sean Couturier in a new system breaks out and becomes an offensive threat.
Well, after the new contract he signed, he better become an offensive threat. He's your second-line center now. I mean, last year he had, 15 goals, 22 assists.
Just under 40 points, I think he got for the season overall. Yeah.
So playing on that second line in a new system, he has to step up. So I'm going to go true.
I'm going to say true. I think he's got nothing but potential. And yes, with that contract coming in, he's got no excuse but to break out. I think that whatever Hackstall's trying to implement, showing that he has faith in him to possibly try him at second line center, I really think that's most of the motivation that he needs. And especially if he's plugged in with the right line mates, I can definitely see him being more of an offensive threat, just as long as he still contains and shuts Malkin down whenever we play the Penguins.
Well, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
I'm just saying, I still want that to happen. I don't want that to be taken away from, because that's really fun to watch.
Okay, moving on. True or false? Matt Reed, he bounces back and scores 25 goals this year.
I'm going to say false.
Really?
I'm going to say 20 goals for Matt Reed this year.
I'll take 20 goals.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to go true there. I think he
Kind
was
of a half-truth.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was very limited last year with the ankle injury. So, yeah, I'm going to go true. He's the secondary scoring that this team desperately needs.
And he looked really fast in the preseason action.
So as long as he stays healthy, yeah, I can see 25 goals for Matt Reed.
All right. I'm going to ask the most important question.
Okay, what do you
got? I don't really consider it the most important question. But true or false, can Vincent Lecavalier plays in at least 41 games this season? We call that a Rafi Torres.
I'm going to go and say 41 games. He played 57 last year, so I'm going to go false.
Wow.
Yeah.
No faith in Vinny Lecavalier at all.
I mean, you've heard Hextall, all offseason saying they don't know where this guy fits in. I hate to say it because the guy is such a legend, a great player throughout his career. But, yeah, I just don't see where he gets on the ice for more than 41 games. I know you want to say true.
You see the look on my face.
Yes.
I know, because I'm actually really thinking about this. It's like I want it to be true, but really, I really think it's subjective almost. It's all pretty much based on how those other people do in those forward positions, how Lawton does, how if Couturier, fills into that role of being second-line center, how that all plays out. I think that's going to have more of a factor in influencing that decision is how many games Vinny plays. I'm not just going to say outright, no, he's not going to play 41 games. So I don't really know if I have an answer for this. This is kind of a wait-and-see type thing for me.
Man, chickening out. You know it's false, but you want to say true. That's why you won't answer it.
All right, you know what? You want to start this? I'm saying, just to spite you, I'm saying true. He's going to play 42 games this year.
There we go. You're on the record now.
What do you think of that? Next question. God.
All right. Okay, here's a tough one. Braden Shen is traded before Luke Shen. True or false? Both have 1 year remaining on their deals. Braden's salary is $2.5 million. Luke's is $3.6 million.
False. They'll be traded at the same time.
You think it's a package deal?
It comes down to if they raise their value. Of course, ultimately, I like to see things work out with Braden Shen. Of course, we've said from the beginning, we don't want him gone from Philadelphia.
See, I was going to say false. I was going to say this is absolutely false until Hackstall made the decision to play Luke Shen in the opener. Now, I don't know. I'm in the middle there, and I kind of think it's kind of they both go at the same time kind of deal, right around the trade deadline.
Tough question to answer. I mean, mainly because, this team does keep throwing you curveballs nobody expected. I mean, well, jokingly, one of our listeners of the podcast even actually suggested the idea of McDonald being waived. But we're like, yeah, okay, it's an interesting thought, but nobody really thought it was actually going to happen. So that's another one you're going to have to just ride out and wait and see.
Next question.
Jesus Christ. I turned away for 1 second. That actually scared me.
We got to keep the show moving.
I guess that makes up for me scaring you with the hip-hop air horn last week. All right, here's one that I got to ask because it's about one of my favorite Flyers players. Wayne Simmons, true or false? He scores 30 goals this season.
True, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I would agree. True, 100%.
He had, 28 last year?
Just a pinch under 30, yep.
Yeah, so I think he's in the 35 to 40 range this year.
All right.
I mean, the guy just keeps getting better and better each year.
Go Wayne train. Thank you very much, Kings.
All right. Next question.
I'm sorry, what? I think I'm partially deaf now from that.
Fine, I'll take care of it. Scott Lawton has 30 points this season. Now, last year when he was up with the Flyers, he had 6 points, and then with the Phantoms, he had 27 points. So he got to 30 last year between the two clubs, but playing the entire year on the NHL, do you think he gets to 30 points?
I'm going to say 20. 20 points.
Okay,
I mean, 30 would be great. Yeah, don't get me wrong, 30 would be great. But, this guy's first real official season in the NHL. Work on your dynamic. Work on, playing the puck well. Points will come. So I'm going to say a nice, modest 20 points for Scott Lawton. So I'm going to say false.
I'll go false as well, but I'm going to go just missing the 30 points. I think he gets in around 27, 28 points this year, which I'll take.
Absolutely.
All right, you ready for this next one?
Do I want to be ready for this one? All right, lay it on
All right,
me.
true or false? R.J. Umberger has more points than Scott Hartnell this year. Of course, they were, traded for each other. Now, last season, R.J. Umberger had 15 points, and Scott Hartnell ended up having 60 points. So it wasn't even close last season. Don't hurt yourself over there thinking about this one.
It is a tough one to think about. I'm going to have to say False. Scott Hartnell's really kind of coming into his own with Columbus. He was playing with some great players last year, people that complimented him really well. That must be why he wound up being a 60-point player. RJ has the potential, but it's really going to come down to who he's paired up with. I could see him having a good season. I've got faith in the guy, of course. Everybody deserves, their second chance, maybe third chance or what have you. But getting to 60 points, that seems way impossible. But I think in terms of just this season alone, the 2015-2016 season, I don't think Umberger will have more points than Hartnell.
See, I'm going to go true on this one.
True?
Yep, that's my fearless prediction.
You mean you're bold?
Yes, I'm sorry, my bold prediction.
Predict boldly.
Yeah. No, I think a little combination of a couple things. I think Umberger's healthy. So he'll put up more than 15 points this year, hopefully. And I think Scott Hartnell comes back down to earth a little bit and doesn't reach 60 points. So I think it's a combination of the two. I think it's really close. But me being the homer that I am, I'm going to go true on this one.
That'll be a very interesting little side story to watch as that develops throughout the regular season. Definitely. All right, next question.
All right, this is the final one and probably the toughest of them all. Are the Flyers a playoff team?
True. Yes.
They will make so?
The Flyers will make the playoffs this year. I am confident. I believe in them. I think it's going to happen. Missing it 3 out of 4 years, I just don't see it happening with these guys. How far they'll make it in the playoffs, that's to be decided. But I think they're going to make it this year. So I'm going to say true. What about you?
As much as it pains me to say it, I'm going to go false. I don't think this is a playoff team at this point right now. I just think Hextall's hands are tied. There's not much he can do. When you have to send down a defenseman making $5 million a year and you're carrying $4.1 million in dead cap space, you're not a good team. You're not in a good situation right now. Do I think they'll be better than they were last year? Yes, but I think a lot of things have to go right for this team right now to get to the playoffs. And I hope I'm wrong. I honestly hope I'm wrong.
You don't sound like you hope you're wrong.
I'm just trying to give you my honest opinion here of what I've seen so far. You got a first-year rookie coach coming in from college. I think this is going to be a learning experience, a learning year for him. So as much as it pains me to say it, I'm going to go false. This is not a playoff team.
I've got one more for you then. True or false? Does Gostisbehere play minutes for a few games this year for the Flyers?
Yes, I think you'll see a lot of these guys that are currently on the team to start the season. I think they'll get traded around the trade deadline or maybe a couple weeks before, and then you'll start to see the young guys come up. And I think Ghost will definitely be the first of those guys to get up here.
Yeah, the true and false questions, they come and go. Predictions, they come and go. But, I mean, really, when you get down to when you boil it down, I'm just excited for another season of Flyers hockey and for the first hockey season that we're covering here on the show. I mean, that's exciting, too, just from our standpoint alone, because, I mean, we love doing this. It's
absolutely.
So much fun.
Absolutely. And I hope come April, May that you're able to play this tape of me saying false and just rub it in my face and tell me how wrong I was on this team.
Oh, don't worry. I'll prepare for that.
Couple more predictions before we wrap up this show.
Okay.
Stanley Cup, any thoughts? Or is it way too early for you?
That's way too early for me to say. I don't know. It's not going to be the Flyers, so I don't care, honestly.
You don't care?
Anyone but Pittsburgh. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I was kind of
or the Rangers.
I was kind of looking around at some of the predictions. Everybody seems to be leaning towards Tampa versus Anaheim.
That's probably what I was going to say. If I had to, take my orange-colored glasses off, I would say Anaheim's got a really good shot, and Tampa's really picking things up too.
Yeah, and I would have to, if it does come down to those two teams, I'll be rooting for Tampa. Because I'm sick and tired of the Ducks stealing the orange.
Oh, God.
That's ours.
That's just terrible. Honestly, yeah, that's just wrong.
All right, and final prediction, game time.
Philadelphia Flyers versus Tampa Bay Lightning. You want to do the score predicting, what we usually always do.
Yeah. This is what we would do, just normal when we weren't
before
doing
every
the show.
game, before we started the podcast.
And we were wrong a lot of the time.
I'm going to go Flyers win 3-2.
3-2. Man, I hate to come off sounding so negative. I go Flyers lose 4-2.
Any particular reason why?
Well, I think you're going up against probably the best team in the East. I think Tampa has got something to prove after the way their season ended last year. I think it's a bad matchup to start off the year. That's all. That's my really only thought to it. Again, hope I'm wrong, but yeah, I see the Flyers losing this one 4-2, tight game, probably an empty netter at the end that puts it away.
Standout players for this game for the Flyers.
I think I'll just go. I got the Flyers scoring 2 goals. I think that's Straight scores 1 and Simmons scores the other.
Okay, I'm going with Jake Voracek is going to score a goal. Wayne Simmons is going to score. And, of course, the breakout star of the night is going to be Steve Mason.
If they win this game, absolutely it's going to be Steve Mason as the breakout star.
I just don't see him letting in 4 goals on the first game of the season. I just don't. All right, well, we'll wrap things up, but we'll be back again with a post-game podcast, a shorter one, giving you a preview for Game 2 of the season. It just feels good to say that hockey is back in Philadelphia for real this time.
Absolutely. It's great to have the regular season upon us.
And don't forget, the first official contest goes live October 8th, and you can win that Eric Lindros Classic figurine as well as some other prizes. All you got to do is simply take a photo of your Flyers collection and share your love for the orange and the black with us, and you could win this great prize pack from the podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait to see some of these submissions.
And if we don't get submissions, we'll just keep it for ourselves. But no, seriously.
That's secretly what I'm hoping for.
Just go ahead and submit your photo. It could be of your jersey collection. It could be big. It could be small. It does not matter. We just want to hear from you, and we want to all get together and share our love for the Flyers together. So submit it either on Reddit, on Twitter, Facebook. You can also email us, phillyhockeyguys@gmail.com. And we really, really hope that we'll get some people entering this contest this time around.
All right, you ready to wrap up this show?
Yes, absolutely. We'll get you ready for the season the best way we know how. If he is listening right now, we'll dedicate this one to Reddit Flyers user Practically a Chemist because he always likes to start this one off, taking you to Broad Street the best way we know how with the Boyles, the orange and the black. You're listening to the Philly Hockey Guys podcast.
Wake up, Philadelphia, and let me hear you sing. The orange and the black, the orange and the black.